The elastic modulus is dependent upon temperature, and you can see that here in this plot. We also can see that for metals, we're looking at elastic modulus values of hundreds of gigapascals, and then aluminum maybe down at 70 gigapascals or something like that, which is also typical for glasses. Now, we learned about isotropic and anisotropic properties before. The elastic modulus is also a anisotropic property. It's a property that does depend on direction. And so for the cubic system, we have a simple equation here that says that we can find the elastic modulus in a UVW direction. Right? This is just a shorthand for saying that we're going to pull on our sample, right, in some direction. So if we're pulling along a diagonal, that would be a 111 direction. Or if we pull along a face, it might be like a 100 direction. So we're going to pull it along a UVW direction. And if we know what the elastic modulus value is in the 100 and in the 111, and so these are tabulated, we could go ahead and predict from this equation the elastic modulus in any UVW direction. All right, I'll talk about these alpha, beta, gammas here in just a second. But the plot below is trying to show this anisotropy effect. And so this plot here kind of represents the sample. So imagine that this is aligned with the cubic unit cell. And so if I was to pull along a face, right, so that would be pulling here on this front face, and then right, it would be out the back face. The length here from the center of this image to the surface represents the magnitude of the elastic modulus. So this would be the smallest, the lowest value of the elastic modulus we have. So you can see it in color in terms of blue, and you can see it in terms of the length from the center is not very big in this case, say compared to pulling it along a body diagonal, right? In that case, we're going from, again, the center all the way out to this surface. So that's the magnitude. You can see that's the highest magnitude we have in this figure. That would represent the stiffest direction, the highest value of the elastic modulus. And so this kind of a plot is just trying to show you visually how much the anisotropy is for a given material. So if it was completely isotropic, then this would be a sphere. Right? So the distance from the center to the sphere surface would be everywhere the same. Okay. Now let's talk about the alpha, beta, gamma in case you need to get these. The alpha, beta, gamma are called direction cosines. Okay. So they're defined as the cosine of the angle between the UVW direction that you're pulling in and one of our axes, our A, B, or C axes. So let's say that we're looking at the axis A, which is 100. This is the angle theta. And alpha is equal to the cosine of theta. And then by dot product definition, right, this is UVW dotted with 100. So these are the two vectors we have. And then that's over the magnitude of UVW and the magnitude of 100, which of course is 1. So if we're finding the alpha, beta, gamma, we just need to go ahead and perform this dot product and divide by the magnitude of the UVW. And so hopefully you can guess that the beta then would be the same equation, except that we would end up dotting with the B direction, right? And the gamma, we would end up dotting with our C direction. Okay. So hopefully you can, so these would be the magnitudes again. UV UVW, UVW. All right, so you get the idea. And then the magnitude of these are again just 1. All right, so that's the beta and that's the gamma. All right. So there's a nice plot of the change in the Young's modulus for a variety of materials as a function of the density of the materials. Plotting things against the density is a real nice way of separating out a lot of materials in terms of their families. And then these are also color-coded by the types of materials. And you can see that materials tend to cluster. So for example, our metals and alloys are clustered up here in this region. Our technical ceramics versus non-technical ceramics, right, cluster a little bit differently. So the non-technical might be glasses, technical might be some kind of a titanium oxide or zirconium based material, for example. Polymers, you can see that they are clustering here. And then we've got elastomers. Those are our rubbers. And as we move into the polymers chapter, which is going to be a ways until we get there, we'll see that elastomers are also polymers. These are really polymers. Okay. But many times we'll separate them out just because they do behave so differently from the general class of polymers. All right. And then we've got our foams, natural materials, etc. Again, so values, you're looking at hundreds of gigapascals up here. And then when you get to the polymers, you're looking at something like gigapascal. And elastomers, you're looking at maybe 10 megapascals or so. All right, so that is it for this particular video. And then next time what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and look at some of the elastic constants that we can define beyond just the elastic modulus.